Oh yes, it's the second, or is it the third week? I think it's the third week in the month of November. A lot of people are, well, kind of like rounding up the year, including us here on Wake Up Nigeria.
So, what has the year been like for you, or you? Hopefully, it's been about great moments all around.
Well, we're hoping. Anyhow, it is a Monday, so let's get ready to take on the week. That's
Honestly,
what we're gonna do.
On Mondays, we're coming off of the weekend and we're just trying to, sort of figure things out. But the thing is, with the bright smiles we provide for you, you know it's gonna be a great day.
Yeah.
Speaking of bright smiles, one is radiating from the kitchen.
Absolutely.
Right now. Hey, radiant personified.
How's it going, Winfred?
How you doing?
It's going really great. Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Good.
It's the start of a new week, and of course, I'm glad to start a week right here on Wake Up Nigeria.
We can't wait for you to tell us how your weekend went. Plenty of stories, perhaps. So, hey, we're looking out for that one, Winfrey. Righty.
Brand new chapter, brand new week. My name is Titilayo Oyinson.
And of course, my name is Mazino Appeal. Remember, you can use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC across all social media platforms to be a part of the best breakfast show on Nigerian television.
So nice you had to say it.
Exactly.
Remember, you can also watch us live from absolutely anywhere across the world. We have a mobile app for you. Just download it from Google Play or iOS.
Yes, indeed. You can also watch us on GOTV channel 27 and on UHF channel 49.
And of course, if you're not following us yet, please do. Social media is important in today's world. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, we're there at TVC Connect.
Yes, indeed. Now, let's let you guys know exactly what it is we brought for you for a Monday edition here. Yeah. Mondays are for motivation, and joining us today to talk about the power of using your choice is Matthew Watchman, a heart coach and also intimacy teacher. His main obsession is the transformation of individuals and how it affects the world around us.
And for SME, we're going to be joined by Carol Agergon. She is the CEO Creative Director of Caritas Couture, a clothing brand specializing in production of customized Ankara and customized school uniforms. Can't wait for that one.
Okay. Welcome everybody, Monday edition here. As usual, as is our trade here, we always ask how the weekend went.
Yes.
Don't ask me about mine, by the way, because there wasn't no weekend.
It was a work weekend for you, but you were doing something special.
Yes, I was working, so that's the point. There wasn't no weekend.
But what were you working on now? I said your market small now.
How was your weekend?
Resting, family, basically nothing spectacular.
I forgot to say thank you, by the way, for Friday. Had a fun time. We actually went out to see the movie.
Okay, so now you got on that and like left me out, right?
You weren't around now, were you?
No, I wasn't.
Sorry, were you? Titi made it.
No. I did not make it. I found my way there. He was there.
And
I now saw him there later, thinking maybe I'd cancelled.
No.
Imagine.
Mike was generous enough to give everybody tickets.
Wins. It's okay, it's fine.
Yeah, sorry now. How was your weekend?
My weekend was great. Very interesting, very fun-filled. Okay. Yes, my husband took care of me.
Nice. That's all you need, baby girl life.
That's what I was made for.
We read
enjoyment.
What did you do?
It was about resting and catching up with the kids over the weekend. These kids are growing up so fast. It's actually overwhelming sometimes when you have to have some certain conversations. And maybe one of the conversations, we'll probably bring it up another time. Yeah, so it was all about really just having...
It was family for you.
Yes, family throughout.
Something that really caught my attention over the weekend, even while I was working, was the fact that there's so many pictures of people bringing out old Naira notes coming out from God knows where, and how mold-infested, God totally degraded they are. And you're wondering exactly what were these people keeping these monies for, and how much depreciation and value it must have had from over the years where it must have been stashed. Like 15 years, perhaps maybe even longer.
It's actually really scary.
I mean, it's half its value now, isn't it?
And the impact that the money could have had way back then has also, even bringing it out now, is depreciated. Roads, schools, hospitals, clinics, people's lives could have been changed just because of some decisions. Some people.
It
is paid.
There's good news around all of that. The dollar is actually dropping.
No, yes.
So, yeah, a little bit.
Really?
Yes and no.
Yeah, the dollar is actually, the issue here is the dollar is falling against
It's
other
falling.
currencies.
Yeah.
And when it
against
also is
other
being
currencies.
normal, it will still rise back.
It is still right, of
Due
course.
to, of course, there's a talk about the Bitcoin interference and why the dollar is actually falling.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll take a much more critical look at that one inside of the show. Do stay tuned. Let's do the weather now, the news, and then more discussion. Welcome. It's Monday edition for Wake Up Nigeria.
Yep. Welcome back. You're still watching Wake Up Nigeria. My name is Winfrey Agbalishi, and it is time for the news. We begin with political matters. The All Progressives Congress Presidential Campaign Council has threatened to sue media houses who engage in spreading fake news to disparage its candidates. The Director of Media and Publicity of the council, Bayo Onanoga, gave this warning following the fake reports used by some media houses alleging that INEC was investigating its candidates over a purported drug case allegation, which INEC has since denied issuing such statements. One of the media houses who ran the report, Arise TV, has now apologized to the APC presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. Part of the statement of apology from the station reads, quote, "We Arise News that carried the news which is now being denied by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and we apologize most sincerely to the APC presidential candidates Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the earlier broadcast." End of quote. To security matters, a detonated explosive device earlier today left a 7-year-old Almajiri pupil injured at the Yarinawa forest area of Damaturu, the Yobe state capital. The incident is said to have occurred around 9 a.m. when a heavy sound was heard in the area, causing residents to scamper for safety. The injured victim has since been rushed to a specialist hospital in Damaturu for medical attention. Although the cause of the incident is still unclear, the police public relations officer in Yobe Command, Douglas Albukarim, said anti-bomb squad has been dispatched to scene of the incident. Some eyewitnesses further claimed a chisel and knife were found on a mat where the incident happened. Yobe is one of the states in the northeast affected by the over a decade-long Boko Haram insurgency. It has yet to be ascertained in today's explosives linked to the insurgents. At least 6 people have been killed and 53 other wounded in an explosion in a busy area of central Istanbul. Turkish city's governor Ali Yelkaya says the blast happened on the shopping streets in the Taksim Square area. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan says the explosion in Istanbul streets was caused by a bomb attack, adding that 6 people died in the incident. Speaking before his departure to the G20 summit in Indonesia on Sunday, Mr. Erdogan said the explosion was a treacherous attack and its perpetrators will be punished. Sunday's blast is the first such incident in Istanbul, Turkey's largest city in several years. Turkey was hit by a string of deadly bombings between 2015 and 2017 by ISIS and outlawed Kurdish groups.
Hello, good morning, and welcome back. It's still Wake Up Nigeria. It's time for us to take a quick look at what's happening on the covers of the newspapers this morning. We're going to be starting with the Nation newspaper. Today is Monday, 14th of November, 2022. It says here, APC, Tinubu remains a solid, reliable candidate. Fake news won't help opposition candidate to engage Nigerians in diaspora. It starts there on the cover and wraps up on page 4. It says right above the masthead there, Buhari or Shomole Obi to open projects in rivers. Senate panel queries Nieti over 960 million naira for 43 officials. Gates Foundation votes $1.4 billion for Agric in Nigeria. Others. My surgery experience by Vice President Osinbajo. Right beneath the masthead there, it says after collecting 3 million naira ransom, bandits demand 10 million to release the victim's body. Another headline here, it says, Wike, others not keen on truce with Atiku, Bauchi governor in dilemma. On food shortage, forex crisis, apparently push up inflation. Story wraps up on page 5. That's what we have on the cover of the nation. We have the Punch newspaper with us as well. National carrier, domestic airlines ask court to terminate federal government Ethiopian deal. Air Peace, Asman Airlines seek withdrawal of Nigerian air license. And AGF Malami, Ethiopian Airlines, Sirika, Nigerian Air listed as defendants. Beside the masthead there, it says, why Nigeria may top cholera cases worldwide again, according to the NCDC DG. Rising inflation drives consumption spending to 57 trillion naira. COVID-19 orphaned 371,100 Nigerian children, according to a report. CBN releases $3.5 billion for foreign education under Buhari. And let's see what else we have here. We have flood affected 3.2 million Nigerians, 1.4 million displaced, according to the UN. And Celestial Church sacks guard, apologizes for attacking Punchman. That's what we have on the cover of the Punch. We have Nigerian News Direct newspaper here with us as well. Unauthorized budget, 2 trillion naira at stake as reps seek to probe 63 agencies. Nieti to explain 960 million naira personnel costs for 2022 budget for 43 staff. Lawmakers angered over circumventing legislative oversight. Inflated submissions, extra constitutional expenditure shroud agencies' spending, and Buhari's allegations of illegal approvals of budgets in view. Right at the bottom here, it says, wanted drug baron arrested as NDLEA nabs woman linked to Pakistani cocaine syndicate. And on Kogi, Governor Bello commences distribution of science textbooks to secondary school students. That's what we have on the cover of Nigerian News Direct. And that's all we have time for when it comes to the headlines in the dailies. We're heading over for fitness.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is time for our What's Up and About segment here. Something very interesting. What was that we're going to talk about again, Winfrey?
Yes, I'm looking for the post.
Yes, there's this interesting post that somebody put up about a story about a married woman and then how it all went yakata.
Anyways, I think what happened basically was that so this lady meets this guy. So first of all, her father wills her house in Ikoyi.
In Ikoyi, let's
yes,
echo
Ikoyi.
that.
So then according to the post, she meets this trenches guy.
She knew from before.
Wow.
And then within 4 months, they get married. And within the 1 month of being married, he now himself and his family pressure her to sign off the house in Ikoyi to him as head of the house. Yes.
What? Whoa.
So they are now divorced, yeah.
They're now divorced.
With that story came full circle a bit too quickly.
A bit too quickly. It's exactly what I thought.
4 months?
Yeah.
And then...
I would like to speak to his
just stand up.
strategist.
The reason we just stand up and just say,
Wow.
Mazino was walking. Then as he was walking, he saw Okada. I said, no, Okada, I have a bike, come here. Then my bike now fell 4 months later. Like, how do you know somebody just, like, the story?
Yeah, the story
like
it's really summarized now. It's you know, Twitter now is very...
Yeah.
You have,
Okay, so sadly there are, well, we've all heard of situations where, you know, the whole love at first sight thing just, but that's why you have, well, you should have family, friends, people that you're willing to confide in.
I would like to say,
You
this
say
might
love at
sound very
first sight.
far-fetched, but I would like to, I'm telling you that I've got very relative instances of this actually happening. And
Okay.
it's not far from the truth. Yes, it's not far from the truth. It happens, and I believe that is actually one case where it is true. Now, first off, let's not pretend like as if we don't know how hard life is for many people. And if you're that one guy from the trenches who has game, you can play your game well, and they can land yourself a old money girl. As in, seriously, you're in for it. However, his strategist, that's his family,
Say strategist.
they did not try.
They're no try.
What they should have done is at least, why don't you get comfortable inside of the entire situation? You're from the trenches. Enjoy some Ikoyi money, first of all, before you start thinking about grabbing all the property. 4 years is not too little for you to gain her confidence and then ask her,
Where you can work
"Baby,
and actually
hey,
make money.
come on, I mean, I'm your husband. Let's talk about me really being properly
The head of
endorsed
the
as your
house.
husband.
Yeah.
So I'm
And then
trying to
you can
think-
do anything after that. I'm not
trying to
endorsing
think-
what he did, though. I'm just saying that the strategy
what
was
did he
whack.
do?
What? Oh, wow, Mike.
It's
It
a
would
question.
seem,
What did he
in
do?
quotes, Mike, that he was only interested in the property. If
That's
only 1
yes,
month
but that is what
asking
the
for
side of the storyteller makes us believe.
I
What
am with you on that one.
What
Don't get me
if?
wrong.
What if that the deed of the property? There's some jazz that if you are
No. There's
nothing-
a logical,
There's
nothing
reason
planned.
why he would want the property.
yes, my point is that look,
There
as
is.
the head of the house,
I'll tell you.
he can stand. You see, there's something. This life is wicked.
Hey, Mike,
Mike,
join
just
your
stop
sentences
talking.
So
together.
for me, I
At
think
this point, you are not, no.
the only logical reason why he would, why I say, okay, perhaps this is why he wanted it in his name, would be he wanted to see how committed his wife, who grew up. And
To be honest, see, when I saw that
don't know.
tweet, what came to my mind is, see, this is a clear case of illiteracy.
tough.
Seriously. As much as people were saying, okay, find out what he was gaming for from the beginning, I honestly doubt it because, see, okay, maybe that's when he met, he was like, oh, wow, there's money and all, got excited. But I don't think the whole idea of the house deed was the intention from the scratch.
No.
I feel it was something that happened, and as
Yeah.
it was there, clearly, the family also pushed her as a head of, as a home. All the whole situation of women any more than men, that's
Yeah.
actually the way I actually see it. Do you
Yeah.
understand? You're living in a house that is under your wife's name.
Thank
Are you
you.
the man?
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
honestly
That's
the
it.
angle I'm looking at it
That's
from.
That's what I'm talking about.
So,
I hear you, but I'm just... Okay, so I'm thinking about the fact that there are so many different angles he could have come from. Okay, maybe we want to start a business and we need some kind of loan.
Collateral.
Okay, we need collateral for a loan. You know, there's just so many, and so that's it leads
That's all
straight back
illiteracy.
to
That's
the
how a person cannot be
illiteracy.
strategizing like that.
Yes.
It's illiteracy.
So you could have done that.
That's several ways
They
to
call
go
him
about
trenches.
it.
What if he has house in the trench?
Koyi has the one thing.
And then you just say, let's understand something. I'm the head of the house. Let's exchange houses.
But you know, I can't say so. I know there are different scenarios where people have been told to prove their love,
Yeah,
to prove
exactly
their
what it might have been.
dedication. But handing over property in 2022
It's not
is
a-
not one of them.
it's not one of
so
them.
if you had those
Under
kind
the
of
guise of
it-
head of house.
No.
Look, there's different
This is
love
not Big
languages.
Brother. This is not
Maybe-
Big Brother.
And now,
love-
another thing I think even comes to my mind is like, okay, fine. At the point where the marriage was even breaking, nobody stepped back.
Nobody did.
Like the wife was not like, okay, I don't want to marry to Bray. I love you so much.
And
The
he was
man
like,
too
no,
was
keep
not
your
like,
father's
okay,
house.
you know what? I really love.
See,
So
sometimes
like,
his love language might be receiving houses.
Whatever the case, I see this starting
his love
from
language.
a beer table where his cousin was like,
Exactly,
oh my God, you didn't
that
even
house,
say,
exactly.
your wife has to leave.
Exactly.
He's like, come on, true.
exactly.
Wow.
That's where his marriage
Yes, that's
stopped.
literally
That's where it ended.
Where it ended.
It's
In
love
any case.
language.
And where its opportunity also came to an
It's
end.
love language. It's love language.
At this point, we're going to wrap it up, but we would love to know what you think about it. Use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Tag us at TVC Connect, and we'll see your responses. See you in a bit. Hello, and welcome back. Now, Mondays are for motivation. And joining us to talk about the power of using your choice is Matthew Watchman. He's a heart coach and intimacy teacher. And his main obsession is the transformation of individuals and how it affects the world around us. Welcome to the show.
Right. Thank you so much for having me.
So I heard great things about last week's conversation. When it comes to motivation, we take it really seriously because the people at home take these little nuggets and go about their day for the rest of the week with something special. Now, when it comes to choice, it's a conversation not a lot of us have with maybe parents or older people in our environment. So why choice? Why are we talking about choice today?
I think at the base level, choices are the definition of our humanity.
Okay.
They are our biggest identity markers to the world. I'm going to give a little context to this. The ability to choose is what makes us most human,
Okay.
but also is what makes us most like God. If we don't have choice, what's the difference between us and a random cat on the road or a dog?
Okay.
They're programmed to act a certain way. Our ability, the power comes from us, the ability to choose. The average person makes about 35,000 choices a day.
A day.
A day, every single day.
35,000 choices a day.
Every single day. You're making 2,000 choices per hour,
Interesting.
basically.
Okay.
So from, let's say this is an average of you're sleeping 7 hours a day, then that's around the clock. So if you're not sleeping 7 hours a day, you're basically making more decisions. You understand? That's why you see people like Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs when he was alive. They try to streamline as much as possible. So you see they sort of dress the same always. They try to do a process of elimination of choices so that their brains could focus on more. So if we're talking choices, we're talking about the value of your humanity.
So now you've singled out that word choice.
Yeah.
But we're already making choices. So why is it important for us to understand the power of choice since we're already making so many choices already?
Because not everybody is making conscious decisions.
Okay.
A lot of the thinking, a lot of the choices we make are quote unquote automated. And so a lot of us aren't making any real-time decisions. What is happening is that the way our brain is designed, first of all, we need to first understand that our brain will probably be the most advanced computer in the world. Think of it as a giant processing unit. And so what happens is this, let's say you've had a bad day. What the brain does is that it looks for other associative memories that correlates with the feeling that you're feeling in that moment.
Okay.
And so that's why you see that whenever you're feeling down, you sort of pull other memories and they sort of excavate or rather exaggerate what's going on in your head.
Okay.
And so what is happening is that based on past things that have happened to you, maybe trauma, maybe things that have been good, things that have been bad, you're responding from the past and not making a present decision.
Okay.
And so the power of your choice is that in that moment, instead of simply responding, you actually have to step back and say, the way I want to respond, am I responding from the past or am I making a conscious decision in the moment?
So now the power of choice, from what I'm hearing, is choosing to maybe sideline or remove negative thoughts, negative actions, negative responses
Exactly.
To certain situations.
Exactly.
But how do we consciously take control of our choices?
Practice makes perfect,
Okay.
as with everything in life. So which means there has to be something that you're weighing your individual choice against. I think the most critical element of making your choices, right, there are two things you must factor into this. What is your identity?
Okay.
Two, what values do you hold?
Okay.
If you don't have those two things figured out, what sort of happens is that you're sort of going with the flow. Your identity and your values, they give you a mirror to weigh things against. And you're really saying, is this me? Does this reflect me? Does this reflect the person that I want to be in the moment or the person that I want to be in the future? And so if we can begin to think about that and then realize that choices, while they may seem emotional, they're not designed to be emotional.
Okay.
Because what happens is that if you respond to someone in anger, you're most likely to get in trouble because they're responding from an emotional place. So our choices have to be conscious, which means there has to be a logical factor to it, where you now have values and your identity to weigh against.
So in the society of today, and in fact for centuries, there's always been some kind of code of conduct, some kind of guidebook, some kind of structure for people to make choices by. Of course, Christians use the Bible. Muslims use the Quran. And of course, there is the Constitution. I'm thinking about our own personal code and how we can begin to build it to make the right choices.
So this is where the journey of self-introspection comes along. You understand? The questions you need to ask yourself, who do I desire to become? Who do I need to be on a daily basis? What are my dreams? What are my goals? Those are the sort of things that you have to factor into this. And so when I work with people, there's a particular exercise that I like to do.
Okay.
And so I tell them to pick up 4 people. A religious person in your life,
Okay.
somebody you work with, a member of your family,
Okay.
and your partner.
Okay.
And 60 years from now, imagine they're celebrating your life.
Okay.
What are the things that you'd like them to say about you?
Okay.
When we put that in perspective, it's something called future casting, where you're looking at your ideal future. Now, if you want them to say these things about you, what choices do you need to start making today in order for this to come out to be you?
Okay.
So I think that's the best way to do it.
That's a long list. Are you saying actually write it down?
You have to write it down. It's the best way to process information.
Okay.
Because once you're committing it to paper, there's a scripture that says, think of things that are lovely, think of things that are kind. Against these things, there are no such laws. So the Bible encourages us to think, to process information.
Okay.
And truth is this, anything you don't write, there's a Chinese proverb, the faintest pen is better than the sharpest mind.
Wow.
Which simply means that anything you write down, you're more likely to remember and you're more likely to commit to the process. If it's just there, imagine you're thinking 35,000 thoughts a day. You'll forget something, it will fall through the cracks. There's a reason why you process with writing.
With that number of thoughts going through our head every single day, why does it feel like the only things that become more significant or more prominent or that have a spotlight are the negative ones?
Your brain is a defensive tool. It is designed to protect you.
Okay.
And many times, negative thinking will keep you out of danger. It stops you from taking risks. It's a fight or flight syndrome.
Okay.
It stops you from taking risks. So let's say, for example, you want to go for something. Your mind will first come up with 1,000,001 reasons why not to do it.
Okay.
Oh, I don't want to be embarrassed. Oh, I don't want to be this. I don't want to be that. So that means you now have to go the extra mile of pushing yourself to put yourself out there.
Okay.
So in order to live your dreams, you need to understand your brain, by design, will try and protect you. But you need to push past and begin to program your brain in order to respond to the type of person you desire to be.
All right, so when I first of all saw the topic, the power of choice, the first thing that came to my head was the political situation in the country, and making choices that will affect the future, going outside my immediate unit. Have you ever had this conversation with anyone before?
Funny enough, I had a conversation this morning when I was driving down.
Okay.
I was in a taxi this morning,
Okay.
and he was complaining about our leaders. But what I needed him to understand that our leaders are a reflection of the people.
Okay.
That's the first thing people need to understand. We have this thing in Nigeria, it's called work chop, where I work, job. If the average man is doing this on a limited salary, what do you expect someone to do on a higher level with vast amounts of welfare available to them? And so, on a human level, before we continue to talk about the politicians and what they're doing, what are you doing in your workspace?
Okay.
What choices are you making to make your workspace a better person? If you're a boss, are you treating your people well? Are you paying a livable salary? Those are the things that we're talking about before we're talking about, oh, it's a national problem. If the people begin to change at both the top and the bottom, we'll find that there's sustainable change in society. We can't hope that one man is going to come and change everything when the people still behave the exact same way.
Okay. So now we've gone all the way to the top. We've hit a place where you're in a position of power or control, and your choices now determine the lives and livelihoods of people beneath you. It does tend to lean towards being a little more tough and giving tough love, so to speak. So how do you begin to structure your choices when it comes to other people's situations?
I think, okay.
Go ahead.
The heart, the human heart, the human body, we are naturally selfish. We are about self-preservation, about our best interests.
Okay.
That is the human nature. It is your job as a leader to think about, this is me. What about the average man on the street? And the only way to do that is to learn empathy. And what is empathy? It means you need to step out of your box and see what is really going on in people's lives, which means there have to be real conversations. Assumptions do not get things done. Because what is happening is that you're working at a level called semantic noise, where you're speaking or you're doing things at the level of ahead of your audience. So empathy is critical. If we can work on empathy, we will find genuine changes.
Honestly, this kind of conversation is not one that we can wrap up in 10 minutes, but it will continue on social media. Please use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC with your questions and contributions, and we'll see what we can do for Matthew Watchman to respond to them. Thank you so much for joining us. You're still with us throughout the month?
Yes, I am.
All right, then. Goodness me, a lot to unpack from that particular conversation. But there is still so much more coming your way right here on Wake Up Nigeria. Stay with us.
A lot is happening here, Mike. Thank you so much. Of course, I have with me right here Chef Julius, right? And we're literally here to make something interesting for the Monday morning. So, Chef Julius, tell me, what are we having or making today?
Yeah, we're making penny pasta with shredded beef sauce.
Okay, so pen pasta with shredded beef sauce. So it's not a mix. It's just side by side.
It's a mix.
It's a mix?
Yeah, it's like a jollof mix.
Okay, like a jollof mix. So we'll make the sauce, we'll make the pasta, and we'll combine it together.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, now what ingredients do we need to bring that to life?
We have our vegetables, the green pepper, the yellow pepper.
Okay.
We have our garlic.
Yeah.
Our carrot, tomato puree, seasoning, the penny itself, salt, and the beef.
Okay, and of course we have some vegetable oil as well. So now to bring this to life, what's the exact process do we have to go through?
So we'll boil the pasta.
And pasta first, yes.
Yeah, for like 10 minutes.
Okay.
And after that, we'll save it out from the water. We make the sauce by adding the oil, the tomatoes, the garlic, the salt, and the seasoning. And pour the sauce on it and garnish it with the vegetables and Add our shredded beef.
Add our shredded beef on it. Okay, I mean, seems quite direct and simple, right? And of course, for Monday morning, we don't want anything too heavy. We also don't want anything that'll take much of our time because, I mean, it's a busy day and we want to get over with breakfast and then get into work. So now let me ask you personally, when did you start cooking and why? What is it about cooking that actually makes you like it so much?
Oh, I just love cooking right from small. And whenever I'm trying to do something different, I'll still find myself in the kitchen.
In the kitchen again, so you just realize that, you know what, I think this is what they actually called me to do.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Okay, so now let's actually go over that again in case you're just joining us. We're making pen pasta and some shredded beef sauce, right? It's gonna be combined just as jollof. So now, for that simple recipe, or rather for that simple meal, we actually need some garlic, right? Some tomatoes, fresh tomatoes. We'll be chopping that or blending it, chopping. So we'll be chopping that. And we have our peppers as well, bell peppers. We have the green bell pepper, the yellow bell pepper. We have the carrots there also. We'll be slicing that, right, for the garnish. We have our tomato paste. We have our pen pasta. We have our vegetable oil. We have our beef, which is going to be shredded in. We have some seasoning cubes and, of course, some salt to taste. So now, can we use any other type of pasta for this particular dish?
Sure.
We can use
Yes, you can use spaghetti.
Okay.
You can use
Any other thing, but as long as it's pasta, right? But I think a lot of people actually enjoy using pen pasta more. Right? Amazing. I mean, this is definitely going to be simple. I definitely cannot wait to see what this looks like. So what are we starting with now? I think we have a chopping board and our knife.
Let me set the...
Okay, so now you put the pen pasta in the water. So there we have water, right?
Yes.
Just water. Do we have salt in the water?
Now I'll add my salt now.
Okay. So yeah, if you use some spoon here to put it in. So is that all you need?
Yes.
All the pen pasta you need? Okay.
And adding some salt.
Some salt. Some people believe that you use a lot of salt to make pasta. Is that true?
So that by the time you sieve it out...
Yes, there's still salt in the water. I mean, it's still tasty, right?
Yes.
It's not just flat. Okay. So now, starting to put the sauce together, where do we start from?
Well, I'll start from peeling my garlic.
Okay.
And then chopping of the tomatoes.
Okay, so chopping the tomatoes and the garlic. And so are we going to use the tomatoes to garnish as well, or are we frying it
No, we are frying it with the sauce.
Okay, with the sauce. Okay. All right. Now, let's see how that goes. To just peel the garlic. I noticed that we don't have onions here. Was that deliberate?
Yes.
Okay.
Because not everybody that likes eating onions.
Okay.
And most especially, they don't like seeing onions on their meal.
True, true.
Yeah,
Very,
for
very
reason,
true. Okay, so you just said to keep it out.
Yes.
That's actually good because I have a friend. If she does this, if the onion will not fill this plate, she's not eating that food though. She must see the onions live and direct. But it's really amazing. I think what I like about cooking is that it's art, right?
Yeah.
You can actually do it anyways, the way you like it. That's literally what really matters. Okay. Thank you, Chef Julius. And of course, let's leave Chef Julius to get into his cooking. And by the time we come back here, I'm sure we definitely have made great strides in putting this pen pasta meal together. Now, it's still Monday right here at Wake Up Nigeria, and of course, right here in the world. We're going to a quick break, and when we come back, more to come. Do stay tuned.
Yes, indeed. It's that time of the Monday morning when we get to do it all over again.
Yeah.
Welcome, the second hour here for your premium television show.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we're here from 7 a.m.
Yes, indeed. Now, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome Winfrey to the dark side. While the cameras were not rolling, something very special happened that broke her out of regular character. And I'd like to say, finally, Winfrey, you're welcome.
Wow.
I reject your welcome.
No.
Because nothing like that happened, Mazino. Stop it.
You want me to tell them exactly?
Anyways, we have a whole lot happening here in the kitchen. We still have Chef Julius right here with us, and we're still making pen pasta and shredded beef sauce. So yeah, make sure you stick around for that one.
We're looking forward to that one out.
Yes, penne pasta. Love it, love it, love it, love it.
That was a little Italian, ain't it?
Penne.
Okay, I can't
Penne,
do that
that's
one.
the Italiano stand of the pasta.
In any case, my name is Masino Appeal.
And I'm Titilayo Oyin. So remember, you can use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC across all social media platforms. And this is, of course, the best breakfast show on Nigerian TV.
Yes, indeed. You want to remember also that you can watch us live from absolutely anywhere that you might be in the world. All you need to do is have us on your mobile app, on your device. Have a mobile app. Have the mobile app on your device, which you can download on iOS or on Google Play Store. It's that easy.
If all the technicalities I was trying to explain are a bit too much, just check us out on GOTV channel 27 or on UHF channel 49.
Yes, indeed. We also implore you guys to follow us across all these social media platforms. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram,
all of them.
did I miss one? Every single thing, okay?
Facebook.
Including Blue Sky. We're coming up with that one real soon. Instagram too. It's at TVC Connect for all of those platforms.
Hopefully, we've been able to connect with you so far on the show, but there's a bit more coming your way. We're going to have the latest edition of On SME this morning. We are joined by Carol Aregan. She is the CEO, Creative Director of Carities Couture, a clothing brand specializing in producing customized Ankara and school uniforms. Okay. We are so energetic when it comes to our birthday shout-outs during the week. It doesn't usually come up on a Monday, but today is extra special. You know why? Because we have two extra special people to celebrate this morning. Now, the first, I believe, is our very own Mary Bashwa Alimi. Happy birthday, Mary!
The very first time I wanted to say that she finally has started looking like Kathy, especially inside of that picture. She looked like
Wow.
She's still fine, pa. She's still fine.
Oh,
Wow.
she is. She's a really, really pretty lady.
Mary's got the face for television, plenty of real estate.
She
on
definitely.
there.
And the voice for it as well. And you know,
The what?
if you know, you know.
Okay, so
Anyways, Mary, we love you, we celebrate you, and wish you all the beautiful things life
Yes.
has to offer today and always.
she's one of the most unfiltered human beings you could ever meet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Triple
But
unfiltered.
it makes her extremely genuine and
Yeah.
sincere in almost everything. But you just have to be careful where you take her to.
Yeah. She was just breeze blue and you know what to please.
Oh, God.
We love you, Mary. You know we
You
love
guys are the speaker.
you. Mary.
Coming from Mike.
Like, I can't stand Mazino and Titi.
He just doesn't like cheese and we serve it every morning.
Stand there.
I hear there's another one.
There is another shout out. Now, this individual, when he enters the room, everything stops. And we wait for him to speak. We would love to
to
give
breathe
a
as
huge happy birthday shout out to Mr. Olukunle Folari. Now, this is the director of programs for TVC Entertainment. We appreciate you, sir. God bless you. Yes, indeed. Everything you see here and on the entire channel, yes, it's all put together and coordinated by this amazing gentleman. We appreciate you, sir. Mr. Falari, we are going to come and eat cake and small chops today.
doesn't
So
want
you
to.
cannot run. You
Between
can't
you and
run.
Mary, they
He
think
doesn't
I'm
need
wrong.
to be
Mary has already
Mary
won.
has
So already I'm seconded. But as for you, we know your address. We're going to catch you. You cannot do anything to us today.
Yeah.
But
There's
happy
a-
birthday.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, many more years, many more birthdays. If you bring out small chops and fish.
I just wanted to say something,
Say
touch on something. When you say Mary can run, have you ever been chased by Mary before? I'm not kidding. Mary has chased me before. It was like I was being chased by a rhino. Mary can run.
Like,
Mary can run.
She mentioned being
She is intimidating.
Did she do some sports in school or something? I know she mentioned.
Her interest for them. Anyways, it's time for the weather. Let's see what that's like.
Amen, welcome.
Thanks for joining us. You're still watching Wake Up Nigeria. It's time for the news. I am Winfrey Agbolishe. We begin with political matters. The All Progressive Congress Presidential Campaign Council has threatened to sue media houses who engage in spreading fake news to disparage its candidates. The Director of Media and Publicity of the Council, Bayo Onanuga, gave the warning following the fake reports used by some media houses alleging that INEC was investigating its candidates over a purported drug case allegation, which INEC has since denied issuing such statements. Once one of the media houses who ran The report, Arise TV, has now apologized to the APC presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. The part of the statement of apology from the station reads, quote, "We Arise News that carry the news which is now being denied by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and we apologize most sincerely to the APC presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the earlier broadcast," end of quote. To security matters, a detonated explosive device earlier today left a 7-year-old Almajiri pupil injured at the Yarinawa forest area of Damaturu, the Yobe state capital. The incident is said to have occurred around 9 a.m. when a heavy sound was heard in the area, causing residents to scamper for safety. The injured victim has since been rushed to a specialist hospital in Damaturu for medical attention. Although the cause of the incident is still unclear, the police public relations officer in Yobe Command, Dugus Abdulkarim, said anti-bomb squad had been dispatched to the scene of the incident. Some eyewitnesses further claimed a chisel and knife were found on a mat where the incident happened. Yobe is one of the states in the northeast affected by the over a decade-long Boko Haram insurgency. It has yet to be ascertained if today's explosion is linked to the insurgents. At least 6 people have been killed and 53 others wounded in an explosion in a busy area of central Istanbul. Turkish city governor Ali Yalakaya says the blast happened on a shopping street in the Taksim Square area. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan says the explosion in Istanbul's streets was caused by a bomb attack, adding that 6 people died in the incident. Speaking before his departure to the G20 summit in Indonesia on Sunday, Mr. Erdogan said the explosion was a treacherous attack and its perpetrators will be punished. Sunday's blast is the first such incident in Istanbul, Turkey's largest city, in several years. Turkey was hit by a string of deadly bombings between 2015 and 2017 by ISIS and other outlawed Kurdish groups. And that's all for the news for now. Many more to come, still on Wake Up Nigeria. We'll be right back.
Fantastic.
Wow.
I mean, I have never known a better winner on that show, and I think that has to be up in the top 3. 30,000 naira, that's fantastic.
Really?
Well, you didn't see.
So those were actually really challenging
They're actually quite
questions.
challenging.
Very.
Challenging questions.
He actually did quite well.
Right
but the point
here,
is that
we were debating.
he did quite well. But if you had seen some part of it, Frank did all he could to let him not pick Socrates. He had picked it 2-3 times. As a final answer, Frank would call back and say, "This is your final answer." He did everything
I
possible.
think Frank wanted the show to go on.
Yeah.
Is it about what he should do? Well, go on and win.
Yeah.
But he did everything. Like, he was clear, and he was telling this guy, look, man.
All I was there was for him to reach across and slap him.
I'm telling you.
He's a girl that he talked.
The guy said final answer like 3 times before Frank actually accepted his
Final answer.
The guy said final answer. But you see, these guys, they all look alike. Are you sure? Because he had taken out Plato and this thing, and it was written down.
I'll tell you something about the first question that we saw, actually, which was very challenging for us here. Gas, solid, what else?
Liquid,
gas, solid, liquid,
and plasma.
So we were having a hard time. And somewhere in
I
between
told you
there,
it
I
was
said
plasma
plasma. She was
television.
comically shouting plasma, plasma, plasma.
What do you
No, she was gas.
I started with plasma. Yeah, I did. Before I went over to gas. Yes.
Not LCD.
I said, get out. I said on the surface, looking at the question,
Because it didn't
plasma
fall
is the
inside
first thing
anything else. Yeah.
And now started calculating you that confused.
But you see,
Now
the
they're
thing with
confusing somebody.
that answer is this. Now, you think about this however you want, but there are certain inexplicable scientific states.
Yeah.
That most things are being categorized under, and that's plasma. And this will shock you, but most people now classify the metaphysical under plasma.
Oh, good.
Yeah, definitely.
And all that. What's it
Really?
called? Yes.
Definitely.
Like
Yes,
ghosts
actually.
and stuff.
I don't
like
believe
that.
in ghosts, but
Yeah, I
there
don't
are certain
believe
things
in
that,
Definitely.
are inexplicable.
Same
Plasma
people's
falls under.
plasma
Yes.
television.
When
Falls
you
under
when
plasma.
you when
So
you
why
take off,
couldn't it have been? Why couldn't it have been?
Do you see 1,000 years in longing?
Not
Liquid.
That was the definition for the existence of genies. They
Exactly.
are raw fire.
And did you notice that he said that when express himself with that TV screen or something. He said,
Exactly.
He said this form of energy, he said,
Yeah.
I could relate with it.
Exactly.
Wow.
So we are saying that, look, there is
So
no...
me saying plasma TV, people are still overlooking it, but it actually is
Plasma
very reasonable.
She was onto
It's
something. We
plasma,
have to give it to her.
actually.
But for her
Think
to just
about
look at the tree
it.
and say, it's lightning. Lightning cannot be solid. But it cannot be gas.
Get out.
When the FTT goes say it's water,
It's water.
so water can fire you.
It's
It's
water
water.
that slaps you.
So I was thinking about liquid because of the fact that lightning mostly occurs during
the
rain.
So this is it. Well, lightning actually comes through when there's it's a charge of energy.
Yeah.
So it's
plasma
different forces interreacting, and that forms that spark.
Yeah.
It's sound and light together. It's much more entertaining if it's
Yeah.
explained by a scientist. I'm just giving you a very
yeah,
rudimentary explanation.
I definitely
but
believe-
I found it very interesting.
Light
as a
and
kid.
sound.
I feel
Television produces light and sound. People should
Winfrey,
continue.
calm down. It's fine.
You're a scientist.
It's okay.
Very direct.
But you see, it's what I did, yeah. They both said plasma, but I think it was easy for them to think it was plasma because they, of course, educatedly, they took out,
Yes, now
they
you
deduced and took out
yeah.
three. But when I prodded them a bit, they're like, okay.
Yes, now you don't start thinking
They're
about
like,
it.
come, there are only 3 states of matter, you know?
The word.
That's why they were
So
not...
We
they're
grew up
now
thinking
saying-
so.
They're now saying
But then-
plasma is now a state of matter.
It's not,
So-
yeah, but there are much more orders. People are still
Yeah,
discovering
they're still
stuff. See,
discovering
It's
stuff,
just like when we started with colors of the rainbow. We said, okay, there are 7 colors in the spectrum. and
Yes.
red.
Wow.
But now we get to know better, and then we know that, oh, look, come on, there are multiple colors. 2, 3, 4, 5 colors in one color already. And
Yeah.
So there's a lot that you're learning.
Hello and welcome back. Now, the joy of having a child is unmatched by anything in this world. Now, the journey to having children is easier for some, but then not so easy for others. One of such people who has a powerful story is Toyin Lulu Ogumade. She put a lot of this information about her story into a book called Mom at Last. We had the opportunity to catch up with her and hear more about her story. It's a very powerful one, and it's all about the world of surrogacy. That word surrogate is one not many families are interested in hearing. But then when it comes to the joy of seeing a brand new, beautiful baby, does it really matter how you got to birth it? Well, we asked ourselves that question, and she has provided some answers. Here's her story.
My name is Toyin Lulu Ogumade, and I'm the founder, CEO of Precious Conceptions, Nigeria's foremost holistic family building consultancy. What I do is fertility management, holistic fertility management, and that means we help intending parents identify, improve, and maximize their conception chances. I waited 13 years to be a mom. It was whilst I was on that journey that I decided I was going to step in the gap and do something to help other people. Okay, so what happened to me? I had fibroids and I went for surgery after like 6 years of managing fibroids unsuccessfully. I went in for a surgery and then I had post-surgery complications and I lost the functionality of my uterus. So the option that was available for me was surrogacy. We didn't tell our immediate families what was going on initially until our 5th wedding anniversary. And my father-in-law was like, what is going on, you know? And he was upset. He thought we were not serious about it. And then myself and my husband, we started talking about it. But we're Christians. So we were like, okay, let's keep trying. And then the 6th year, we kept trying. And then I told him, bros, come, we need to start looking inwards and go to the hospital seriously and see what's going on. And he said no. So initially my husband was against the idea of hospital. It was, you've done a lot of tests, doctors are poking you, you're losing your privacy. I don't like how they are just doing all sorts to you. No. And I started getting worried. So because he's the sort of person that is a bit detached from all of these sentiments, he appeared to me as someone who was aloof, someone who didn't care. At a point, I had to tell my parents and my siblings what was going on, that we were really trying, and I had a post-surgery complication. I didn't even get to know until it was the 9th, 10th year of my marriage that I had a complication. Okay, so I now had to break the news gently to them. We didn't say anything to my in-laws yet because it was a struggle facing that reality that I might not be able to conceive ever. It was horrid, you know, all the various tests I had to go through, seeing doctors, going through back-to-back surgeries. My family members were there all the way, supporting, driving me to the hospital, giving me a shoulder to cry on. They were there all the way. But still, we didn't share the gravity of what was going on with his family because we were also struggling with it. At the point when surrogacy was looking at us like this is the only way out for you guys, my husband was still saying, no, I don't want IVF, I don't want surrogacy. And I'm like, I don't mind. I am the one going in and out of the theater like I'm going to Lagos market, you understand? I don't want to die. And I started researching, and I understood that having a gestational career is more or less like you doing it yourself because there's no DNA matter transferred from, you know, vertically transferred from the hosts, the genetic, the surrogates into the child. So when I saw that clearly, I was like, okay, it seems this one is a reasonable thing for me to do, and I embraced it. He still struggled. And at the time when we left for India in March 2010, we had to confide in everybody meaning our immediate family. My dad was late, his own dad was late, his own parents are late. So we told our siblings, look, we're going for help in India and it's looking like it's surrogacy. The struggle really was, am I a woman? If I'm not able to carry a child, am I a woman? Mentally, it was hard. I love babies, and I tell people I want to have 9 children. I like having children around me, even till my old age. Let them run around and scatter the house, I don't care. So not being able to have for 13 years, it was like something was stolen from me. And then we came back with twins because we lost 2 along the way in the pregnancy. And initially I didn't want to share because I was in India, nobody saw me pregnant. So it was so easy to keep quiet. And my children look exactly like me. Photocopy. Because they used my eggs. She was just a host. So it was so very easy not to talk about my experience, to let people assume I had gotten pregnant eventually and then have children. And it was a struggle initially for me to share. My husband was very open. Even while we were pregnant, he was telling all our friends and people in church, because I was away for 2 years and people were asking, where's your wife, where's your wife? And he was like, oh, we are going through IVF surrogacy. Finally, our surrogate is pregnant. And I will scream, stop telling everybody this surrogacy, don't embarrass me with this one, you know. And people were like, what is surrogacy? What exactly is that? Indian, won't your children be Indian? And then, you know, from their reaction, I realized there's so much ignorance out there. There's so much mystery out there. People do not know exactly what this process is all about. They just saw me come back home with children looking like Slimmy because I had lost a lot of weight. And they are wondering, your tummy is not big. And I was able to lactate and breastfeed. So I was just a puzzle to a lot of people. So I decided, you know what, let me push my shame. Then I was still a bit ashamed. Let me push my embarrassment aside and face this thing head on. And I drew strength from the Lord. And he said to me, write down your story. And I started writing down my story, right from India. I started writing my experiences, what happened. I started writing down. And eventually I took a bold step. I started sharing with strangers. I made up my mind I was going to talk to them. It was only a matter of when. I think it was 2019, before the COVID thing. We had come back from church on watch night service day. We had done the Happy New Year thing and co. And we came back home here, and they were in their room. And as I stepped into my daughter's room, I just had the funny feeling, talk to them about how they were born. And I called them and I said, guys, you know what mommy does? They said yes. I said, okay, so explain what surrogacy is to me. And they explained to me the way they understood. And I said, okay, what if I tell you guys you were born through surrogacy and you could see the different expressions on their faces? And the girl just went very quiet on me. And the boy was like, what do you mean? And I said, exactly what you heard. I couldn't carry you guys in my tummy, so Auntie Pooja, you know Auntie Pooja? They said yes. Immediately I said that, I started crying. I just broke down, and my son gave me a huge, he just held me like this, and he hugged me really tight. And he said, Mommy, it's okay, that's fine. And my daughter just went so quiet and said, you know, Mommy, now I know why you do what you do in Precious Conception. Surrogacy is redemption. The Lord restored all my lost years. And I tell people, if that is your option, embrace it. You don't need to be ashamed. The Bible says none shall be barren. It didn't say you shall be pregnant yourself.
Shout out to all the
I like that
mothers out
sound.
there.
Lovely story.
Big shout out to her. I love her. I love her story. I love what happened. I love the strength she needed to, to exhibit, to go through all of that.
Yeah.
Kudos to women.
And it's weird, so weird or very interesting that the kids
Guys are
look
too much.
so much like her. I think that was the most striking thing for me.
Yeah.
Guys are too
I mean,
much.
God works in miraculous
And then
ways.
for those of you that will say, in fact, let me not, because it's a beautiful time, I'm happy. Let me not yab you. But hey, come on.
And of course, we have Chef Julius here with us throughout the day, making
Julius
this
was just
pen
so quiet and
pasta.
everything doing that. I was like,
Yes, now, I know.
today. Julius, nice one, man. It looks
Doesn't it to make
fantastic.
noise? It does
Yeah.
look really great. So
Looks
we
like-
have pen pasta here with shredded beef sauce, all put together in a
Pen pasta.
jollof explosion.
As a pen pasta, what do you mean?
Pen.
Looks like a pen.
Let Chef Julius tell us himself.
Yeah,
and
Chef Julius, tell us.
You know, the details about it.
Oh, I have my penne pasta with shredded beef and some vegetables.
Yes,
tomato
for
sauce.
garnishing.
Yeah.
I would like
that
who's
here.
trying to. Is it Titi?
Both of you, because
I don't know why
sitting-
Titi has to be the
Titi
one.
sitting
No,
on
the
the,
strength of
on
it is Titi and Winfrey. Both of you should
table.
try it.
Okay.
So Titi, do the honors for us
I'm sitting pretty,
and
y'all.
try this meal out and let us know
I'm
exactly what you think
I'm
about
just
it.
trying to
Trying out
cutlery
this
for you,
pen.
Winfrey.
I'm a big fan of
I was
pasta.
here for woman power, but pay.
Thank you.
The cutlery
Thank
is
you.
not rich.
No, wait.
It was just I got here first. That's why.
Yeah.
You know do it first. I will remove
Please
it.
don't remove it.
Oh yeah,
Don't
do
do
fast.
it. Okay, let me have a taste. So at first,
Try the beef as well.
I should try the beef. I bet let me try pasta.
Nah.
It's all together. It's meant to be a convolution.
Bele, I used to that.
A convolution.
No, it's very creamy. It's not too spicy. It's okay, let me try the beef now before you people enter me. All right.
And
Okay.
the veggies as well.
And the veggies? No, it's just the beef I want.
We gave you food. We tell you how to taste it. Titi, take the veggies, take the beef.
Well, hey, would like to say thank you to everybody who made it in on the show. Unfortunately, we were looking forward to seeing our SME guest, but she made it in quite late, so we won't be able to take that segment. We'll
Yes.
save that for next week. If you guys tune in, you get to learn something very interesting on that segment.
Yeah.
While Titi is eating away, and this is not how it works when our guests are here, Titi. They just take a bite, then they leave the rest. Titi wants to finish their food before
Please leave her alone. Enjoy yourself.
Calm down.
She's
They're
eating
coming
for
down.
two.
See, I don't know when this is going to
Enjoy
happen
yourself.
next now.
I
I have
know,
to
right?
savor this moment.
I know, right?
I have to savor it.
Especially that you never win any games. So you're never going to win any of our food.
But I want the food today, Malino.
It's just
Thank
It's
you
a
so
great
much,
way
Chef
to start the
Julius.
week.
Amazing. Of
Julius,
course,
man.
it was
Nice
a
one.
great show today. Thanks to everyone who made it. I think Basil said that already. Anyways, we'll see you tomorrow.
it's called intro to the outro.
Yes, intro to the outro.
7 a.m.
We'll see you
everyone.
tomorrow.
Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.